What's up, Ozarks? It's your boy Chris Pinson here on the Ozarks First Digital Desk. Now let's talk about Bears basketball. Today was, in fact, Missouri State's annual media day for the men's and the women's team. Had a lot of fun being out there, seeing head coach Conzo Martin for the men, Beth Cunningham of the women. There's a lot of expectations for both these programs. They enter Conference USA as the brand new member. And let's be honest, on the women's side, it should be business as usual, competing right near the top, fighting for a conference crown. On the men's side, Conzo Martin and company have a lot to prove. They went 9-23 last year, had a very disappointing ending to the program's time in the Missouri Valley Conference. So they will be looking to go on the up and up this year with practically a whole new squad, 11 new guys out of 14. Meanwhile, Coach Cunningham, she's got 7 new players along with 7 returners. But during these conversations, meeting some of these new faces, there's a new face out there you're going to want to know. And her name is Maycee James. She's a senior transfer out of Pitt State. And not only is she a pretty good hooper, but she also has some hobbies and some downtime activities that seem to be a little different than the normal 18 to 22-year-old. In case you're wondering, she's a Gen Zer, right? Which means she and her generation have all grown up in the age of technology. My generation, we're the millennial generation. We really grew up with the progression of the video game console, right? From regular Nintendo up through Super and Sega Genesis, Dreamcast, PlayStation, Xbox, and so on. Maycee James's generation, they've really grown up with the internet and computers and social media and advanced cell phones and all these things that now pretty much consume our lives every day. However, Maycee's a different character. She's kind of a throwback to an older generation, so check out how she spends her downtime outside the basketball court.
I love to cook. I cooked for my teammates last night. I actually made salmon for Faith and Victoria, and we had a good night just doing homework, hanging out. Also random, I like to craft. I own a Cricut and soon-to-be sewing machine, and I like to make little things, like random, but that's something I do often. And honestly, just hang out with my teammates. Like you said, it's like a family away from family, and especially like being a senior now and seeing how fast the whole process has went by, cherishing those memories with your teammates, because you really, really, really don't get them back, and they're some of the best moments.
So how about that? She enjoys just taking a break from life by doing what? Hanging out, cooking, and crafting. I mean, imagine that. You actually enjoy doing something besides getting on your cell phone, searching social media, trying to find what the next it trend is or any kind of rabbit hole you want, right? But let's be honest, that's not what a lot of people today like to do. So I had to ask her, why in the world do you like doing traditional things like cooking, crafting, sewing? I mean, that's a lot of time and effort with your hands as opposed to just click a button and instant satisfaction.
I think it's because it takes me away from technology, and it is a creative outlet. It's something where I'm doodling on some kind of software and printing something out to make decals, or cutting something up and sewing it and using fabric glue, or it's just a kind of, not an escape like you said, but just a break from doing the traditional like XYZ X's and O's and black and white. It's just kind of like a creative outlet to where I can make something and it's fun. Or like, even that's why I really like to cook, because I don't really use recipes that much. I just kind of let it flow and make whatever it is, and it always kind of comes out good. So I think that those two different kind of learning styles, or like ways to release, is what I do, and something I've kind of always done.
Imagine that. Somebody who wants to just do something different, be different, right, in her own unique way. And that's where cooking, making a delicious meal, crafting, right? Whether it's sewing or doing this Cricut thing, right? Being able to put your own touch, your own spin on things that really have a personal touch. It feels like it's a forgotten practice nowadays, is adding a little something extra of your own. That way you style it or you detail it, whatever it is, you do something a little bit outside the ordinary that lets people know, hey, this is what you represent. This is what you bring to the table. I think that's great. I really do enjoy the fact that meeting a person of today's generation, of college age, is out there actually having something different in their life that moves them, that drives them, that motivates them more than just sitting on their phone, in their bed, on the couch, doom scrolling for hours and hours and hours, and just overstimulating your brain with whatever you could find. But since she brought up cooking, and she says, right, she throws a lot of stuff together and it works out pretty well. The question is, what is Maycee James's best dish?
Probably a nice, like, Southern home cooked meal, like mac and cheese, greens, catfish, fried chicken, all of the things, like a whole spread, sweet potatoes, like that would probably be it, just because it's really fun and it takes all day and it's just like a really good process, and then at the end of the day you have a nice full filling plate. Something I'd like to learn how to make, probably a good steak. My dad makes me good steak all of the time and I'm not that great at it, so I think my skills on the grill could definitely be a little bit better.
How about that? A good old-fashioned Southern comfort food buffet, basically, right? Catfish, homemade oven-baked mac and cheese, some greens. Hey, as a Florida guy, some people say Florida's not Southern. I tend to disagree. Trust me, we know about fried catfish, about the greens, the oven-baked mac and cheese. Oh, chef's kiss. That's already getting me hungry. As for that new dish, steak, huh? Interesting she picked that one. But hey, when your dad can make a bad steak like that and you never forget it, I think a lot of people are envious of people who can throw down on the grill. Not just steak, because of course that is a top tier grill. But if you can throw down right with ribs or chicken, pork, anything, hot dogs, burgers, if you're the grill master, you got to have steak in your skill set. No doubt about it. But since she did mention the Southern Comfort menu, right? The mac and cheese, the greens, fried chicken, I had to ask her about where and how she cooks her macaroni and cheese. Because we all know the online community is split about how you should make oven-baked mac and cheese. Because let's be honest, no self-respecting Southerner or good Southern cook uses stovetop. We're talking in the oven, make it crispy, make it delicious. Check this out.
I think the key is you have to shred the cheese yourself.
Okay, so we're not talking store-bought, right?
Oh, no,
Like
no,
not
no.
in the bag cheese.
No. You have to like take a grater and a block, and it has to be like 3 to 4 different types of cheeses. And I personally do the crust on top. I think it's good, and then you set it to broil for a couple minutes, and it just gives it that perfect crisp on the top. So, and then the egg, I'm 50-50 about it. I like to use extra heavy whipping cream because I think it makes it a lot more creamy and good. So that would be my take on that. I think the key is you have to shred the cheese yourself.
Okay, so we're not talking store-bought, right?
Oh, no,
Like
no,
not
no.
in the bag cheese.
No. You have to like take a grater and a block, and it has to be like 3 to 4 different types of cheeses. And I personally do the crust on top. I think it's good, and then you set it to broil for a couple minutes, and it just gives it that perfect crisp on the top. So, and then the egg, I'm 50-50 about it. I like to use extra heavy whipping cream because I think it makes it a lot more creamy and good. So that would be my take on that.
So there you have it. You got to make your own mac and cheese using hand shredded cheese. You can't just go to the store, go to that section and buy it. I've heard this a lot on social media. A lot of great cooks or restaurants that I follow, they all shred their own cheese. It is like a cardinal sin to buy already pre-shredded cheese. Don't know what it is. Maybe it's the starch on there or what, but something about hand shredding your own cheese just makes the mac and cheese or any dish you're making with cheese and you want it ooey and gooey and good pull, yeah, it's got to be hand shredded. And you heard her. If you don't like putting the egg in your macaroni and cheese oven baked style, sure, you can go ahead and put heavy whipping cream because that does make it nice and cheesy and ooey and gooey as well. So you heard it here first. And trust me, I believe that Maycee James knows how to throw down in the kitchen. But the real question is, what is her best craft? You know, she obviously said she likes to sew and stitch and whatever else it is, but what is her best craft that she thinks she has made? And this one's pretty cool because it's very near and dear to her heart in many ways.
I've made a collage of like all the media passes, all of the tournament passes, my locker stickers from my other schools, and kind of made it into a huge collage that I put into a shadow box just so I could kind of commemorate like where I've been and look back on that as kind of like a memento of what I've been through and my journey so far.
I think I'm going to call Maycee, not just to see if I can get some delicious Southern comfort food as we do approach the Thanksgiving holiday in just over a month, but being a sports media guy who's covered a lot of different wonderful, exciting events in my career, everything from SEC championship game to Florida Gator games to Missouri State to Royals, Cardinals, Chiefs games. I think I might have to have her try to make something like that for me, because when you do look back on your life, like she's already talking about, having those little mementos, right? Whether they're keepsakes or put them in a time capsule or whatever it is, being able to date and have that readily available, whether it's a collage on your wall or, in your man cave or wherever you want to put it, being able to look back on those and say, yep, I was there. And having the pleasure and the privilege of covering some of those most amazing games I've been able to witness. Like I said, the 2020 SEC title game, Alabama, Florida, what a barn burner that was. Being at this season's AFC Championship game in Arrowhead, Chiefs and Bills, and the Chiefs were able to edge out the Bills to go to a third straight Super Bowl. I mean, man, you talk about an experience I'll never forget. Those were awesome. And so I might have to contact her to get some food and make a crafty memento because, yeah, you never know how fast the years go until you look back and say, God, that was that long ago, right? Well, look, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Believe me, we're going to have a lot more of these because, as you know, great athletes are great athletes because they all practice hard. They all train hard. They all work and prepare hard. But getting to know the person behind the uniform or the whistle, that's what really is most enjoyable and relatable about getting to know these people. They're people just like us, except some practice harder than others at sports. But they also have a different side, right? A downtime side of them. And that's what I think is the best part of these conversations is you get to find out who the person, who the soul is behind the jersey and whistle. So we will do much more of that coming up soon. Hey, have a great night. Really enjoy you being here with me. And make sure you tune into Ozarks First, online and at 9 and 10 o'clock on your news stations. You won't want to miss the sports updates and news we have for you. See you then.